These are this afternoon's top stories. Prime Minister Harris receives warm welcome in Dominica. Virgin Islands Senate deliberates bill to honor NBA star Tim Duncan, and presidents of China and the USA to make a joint climate announcement. Good afternoon. Welcome to the ZIZ Mid newscast. Today is Friday, 25th September 2015. I am Nisha David. In national news, St. Kitts and Nevis's Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris, received a rousing round of applause from the Dominican people for his government's contribution of $1 million. The donation came shortly after Dominica was pummeled by Tropical Storm Erika that left a trail of unimaginable destruction, with more than 20 persons dead, persons unaccounted for, infrastructure destroyed, homes washed away, and untold suffering. Prime Minister Harris, along with his Minister of Public Infrastructure, Post, Urban Development and Transport, Ian Liebert, traveled to Dominica on Wednesday to witness a symbolic handing over ceremony of 300 petrocasas, a type of Venezuelan family house built in mass production. This was done by President of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, a donation from his government to help the displaced people of Dominica after the ravages of the tropical storm. In his address at the ceremony, Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit lauded the government and people of St. Kitts and Nevis for their generous contribution. A few hours prior to the handing over ceremony in Dominica, President Maduro made his inaugural visit to St. Kitts, where he participated in a symbolic handing over ceremony of checks to former sugar industry workers who were left without compensation after the sugar industry closed in 2005. President Maduro also handed over bulbs and solar panels and signed a memorandum of understanding with the St. Kitts and Nevis government that promises greater cooperation between the two nations. Reginald Thomas, known by many as Calypso Reggie, was laid to rest on Thursday following a Thanksgiving service in his honor. Tents and chairs were set up at the Patsy Allers playing field to accommodate the large number of well-wishers who turned out to pay their final respects to the cultural icon. Among them was the Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris. Culture Minister Honorable Sean Richards and the Parliamentary Representative for Constituency 3, Honorable Congress Maynard, delivered a tribute to the cultural icon. ZIZ's General Manager Clement Ogaro, who is also a Calypso enthusiast, presented the formal remembrance, which is also known as the eulogy. Calypso Reggie gained popularity as an MC/comedian and was also well known as a mobile advertiser. He hosted numerous Calypso tents and shows during St. Kitts Nevis's National Carnival celebrations and the Nevis Culturama Festival. After learning of Thomas's death last week, Prime Minister Harris offered words of condolences to his family and other loved ones. In speaking with the ZIZ News, he said, quote, "Reggie brought joy and amusement to persons of all walks of life, and he had become, over time, a national cultural and entertainment icon," end quote. Reginald Calypso Reggie Thomas passed away on National Heroes Day, Wednesday, September 16th. Gratuitous check distributions continue at the Sugar Workers Restoration Fund office in Bastyr. By 4 p.m. on Thursday, $7,702,609 has been paid out to approximately 1,338 former workers of the St. Kitts Sugar Manufacturing Corporation, SSMC. By the time our cameras stopped by on Thursday afternoon, the crowd had reduced drastically to just about a score of persons waiting on the outside. Regionally, Dominica International Relief Coordinator Baroness Patricia Scotland has seen the first-hand impact of Tropical Storm Erika. More in this report.
GIS News accompanied Baroness Scotland on a tour of the West Coast communities over the weekend and witnessed her interaction with those impacted by the August 27th weather system.
Dominicans, even people from abroad keep calling and sending food. You know, a lot of friends calling me and sending little package for me. And all over Dominica, people have been coming, bringing food for us when we couldn't cook. We could be like our stove, still and everything had gone, you know. The entire village. So it was nice of the people from the other villages to bring food and water for us. I appreciate that.
The affected communities continue to receive assistance from the international community. A U.S.-based disaster response and non-profit organization is aiding in the cleanup of communities along the West Coast.
So we have been here since September 8th. Our organization's All Hands Volunteers. We're an international U.S.-based disaster response nonprofit. The relief we provide is hands-on, boots on the ground. So we have a bunch of volunteers here with shovels, wheelbarrows, getting to the places where machinery can't.
Well, I know the people here in Kimbitsi are incredibly grateful to you and your colleagues, not only for being here and giving them moral support, but also for the physical hard work that you're all putting in to make a difference. So, on behalf of the people of Dominica, Dominican diaspora all over the world, thank you very much.
Absolutely, thank you.
In the Virgin Islands, a resolution that got unanimous support from the Senate was a bill to honor Tim Duncan for his accomplishments and contributions. CBS News 2's Erika has this report.
Tim Duncan was a topic for discussion Wednesday at the Senate, but for all the right reasons.
He has done very, very well for the Virgin Islands.
Lawmakers unanimously passed a resolution that would honor the Virgin Islander and pro basketball player for his many accomplishments and his contributions to the Virgin Islands.
The bill number 31-0243 to recognize and once again commend Tim Theodore Duncan. I certainly think that is something that's truly honorable. And as you know, Tim Duncan is pasted here on our walls here at the legislature. He's also shown as you get off the flight on St. Croix.
The bill was proposed by the entire body. Senators all agreed that Duncan's performance on and off the court is worthy to be honored.
You could never try to undermine the impact that Tim Duncan has on the Virgin Islands. Because he's an unassuming person, and a lot of stuff that he does, nobody knows about. He doesn't want credit.
I would like to say that he has been honored by this body before. It has been said, but he continues to amaze us and continues to make the Virgin Islands proud.
He's a man who is so humble that he gives so much and we don't even know about it. The Alan D. Burke Foundation just had a basketball tournament this past weekend. Every single one of those individuals, those students that participated in that foundation had a t-shirt that was sponsored, shorts, uniform that was sponsored by Tim Duncan.
Erika Parsons, News 2.
Internationally, the United States and China will announce today a slew of new policies to combat climate change, including a national cap-and-trade program in China. That's according to the senior White House officials. More in this Euronews report.
Chinese President Xi Jinping continues his state visit to the United States. President Xi arrived soon after Pope Francis flew out of the U.S. Capitol yesterday. U.S. Vice President Joe Biden greeted Xi and his wife as they landed at Joint Base Andrews outside Washington on the second leg of a week-long trip. The two presidents were planning to make a joint statement on climate change ahead of a major global climate summit in Paris later this year. The announcement was expected to put the spotlight on new measures to meet targets to halt or reduce emissions, including a Chinese carbon cap-and-trade system. Xi will be treated to full honours, including a 21-gun salute and a black-tie state dinner.
Pope Francis, speaking at New York St. Patrick's Cathedral, has expressed closeness with the world's Muslims after more than 700 pilgrims were killed in a stampede outside the Islamic holy city of Mecca. More in this report.
They turned out in their thousands in the Big Apple to applaud Pope Francis on his first official visit as pontiff to New York. His presence in the US has drawn huge crowds as he seeks to bring Catholics back to the church with a more inclusive message. He'd come to New York after addressing a special joint session of Congress, where his message included a renewed call for the ending of the death penalty. At an evening prayer service in New York's St. Patrick's Cathedral, with the mayor in the congregation, he expressed his solidarity with Muslims following the deaths in the Hajj crush.
Mi cercanía ante la tragedia.
My sentiments of closeness in the face of tragedy, the tragedy they suffered in Mecca.
En la Meca.
The warmth of his reception in the US was again on show in the cathedral. The 78-year-old Argentine pontiff is set to address the United Nations General Assembly on Friday morning.
Taking a look at the weather, temperatures are expected to peak at 78 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are blowing from the east-northeast to east-southeast at 4 to 8 miles per hour, becoming lighter and variable at times. Seas are moderate with waves 3 to 4 feet. In the weather summary, skies today will be sunny to partly sunny, and tonight conditions are expected to be cloudy. Showers, if any, will be light and brief. Sunset for today is expected around 6:05 p.m. and sunrise for tomorrow should be at 6 a.m. That brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. To join us this evening for these stories and more in detail, thank you for joining us. I am Nisha David.